You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell's homes both got vandalized over the weekend. What was the vandalism? Would they get written on their homes? One on a garage door, one on a front door and some windows. This is a story that was kind of out there for just a split second, but major media just didn't cover it because it's not good. This isn't the kind of stuff we want going on, yet is happening on the daily. Let's jump on and check it out and see what we have. If you're new here, my name is Sean Reynolds. I'm the owner of Summit Properties Northwest, Reynolds & Klein Appraisal, but I am known now for reading you the news on the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. Let's jump on in. Pelosi and McConnell homes vandalized after Congress adjourns without securing $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, was it really because of the $2,000, or was it these guys just wanted an excuse to, let's go hammer on some famous politicians. Let's just go cause them some grief. It's New Year's. This is what we do in the New Year's. Let's go do this and see if we can get a news story out of it. And here we are talking about it, right? I had a bunch of you guys send me, and by you guys and gals, send me, some texts. We had some emails, just some info inquiries. Hey, what about this story with Pelosi and McConnell? How come we're not seeing much of that? Well, it's a story that's a little bit outside of the box. That's why it's perfect for a guy like me to cover it, because I'm not really affiliated with anybody. I can cover whatever I want, and guess what? This is entertainment, right? It's YouTube. It's what we're talking about. This is USA Today story. Louisville, Kentucky. The homes of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi were vandalized over the weekend after Congress adjourned Friday without securing $2,000 stimulus checks. Messages like, "Where's my money?" and other expletives were written with spray paint across the front door and bricks of the Kentucky Republicans' house in Louisville. Now, when I say, "Where's my money?" they, even here in the major media like USA Today, they spell check it, because the guy that wrote "Where's my money" did "Where's," W-E-R-E-S, without an H. They got no H in there. It wasn't "where's," it was "where's." Where's my money? Well, it's not on Mitch's front porch, I can tell you that, right? So while we're talking about this, let's jump on over. Let's just take a quick look and see what Mitch's front door looked like. All right, on his front door, this is like a colonial-styled home. And when I do talk about real estate, that is something that you can actually trust from me, because I am a real estate guy. I do know what I'm talking about real estate. The rest of this stuff, I'm giving you my best guess. That's, to be honest. I mean, let's be completely transparent. I can't lie, that whole nonsense. All right, on Mitch's front door, he's got "Where's my money" in white written on a nice gray front door. That's annoying to have that done. And then right off to the right of that, there's a column, then there's a little brick section, and there's a window. In the brick section in between the front door and the window, there's F Mitch, I believe. That's not good. I mean, just telling Mitch that, he needs to follow that advice. F Mitch. And when I say F, that's not what I mean. You know what I mean. The last graffiti is "Mitch kills the poor." That is the other graffiti message that was written on his window. "Mitch kills the poor." I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I can't really read it because the red graffiti on top of red brick, difficult at best to see. So somebody that's doing this graffitiing, they need to work with their color palette and realize that, and if you're graffitiing on a red, background brick home, maybe don't use red spray paint. But that's just me throwing out a recommendation. Don't follow my advice. I've never really done graffitiing. It's not my thing. All right, so that's it for Mitch's house. We've covered that. Let's see what we got on Nancy Pelosi's house. All right, so it's a 2-car garage door, roughly 20 feet wide. The opening is probably 18 feet, something like that, right? Upper left-hand corner, we've got 2K, the line through it, "Cancel rent!" exclamation point. Then we've got the A with a circle around it. We got another A with a circle around it. We all know what that means. And then the second half of the garage door, the lower half says, "We want everything!" Exclamation point. All right, so we got 2K, cancel rent, some A with circles around them, and we want everything. And then on the driveway, the concrete, it looks like concrete squares leading up to the garage door. You've got a pig's head with snout up, I believe, with some fake blood. Don't know, is that real blood? I read that it was fake, but it could be real blood. And the blood is kind of done. You know, when you sit down and you're at a really nice restaurant and you get dessert and you're really looking forward to the dessert, and when they bring it to you, it's like really small but really well done. And they've always got some, like, it's a big plate and a really tiny dessert, and you're disappointed because you just want more food. And then you've got that big, like that smattering smear of like something cherry or red. That's what's on the driveway, and it's supposed to be blood. I don't know. Got that, nice upper end smear of red liquid, whatever that might be. So that's what they did, in probably a coordinated effort, because otherwise it's just really odd and random that both homes of these politicians got hit basically at the same time. We want everything. They don't want just the $2,000 or to have rent canceled. Cancel rent. Think about that one. Think that through. Cancel rent. Okay, how does that work? Never mind. You guys want to get rid of everything, and you want everything. Which one is it? You want everything or you don't want it? I don't know. I'm really confused. That's how this whole thing goes, right? Let's jump back to the storyline here. Messages like "Where's my money?" Yep. And other expletives were written with spray paint across the front door. We read that. Police spokesman Dwight Mitchell said the incident happened around 5 a.m. Saturday. That's early. And then there was minor damage of graffiti on a window and door. The department has no suspects. I am surprised Mitch does not have video camera. Where's his Wise camera looking out the front? Or his Ring doorbell security, whatever it is. Meanwhile, at the San Francisco home of Pelosi, a Democrat, vandals painted graffiti on the garage door and left a pig's head on the sidewalk around 2 a.m. Friday morning, police said. Yeah, pig's head. Nice. That's a good touch. Vandals also wrote messages like 2,000, cancel rent, and left fake blood on Pelosi's driveway. According to the local news reports, San Francisco police said a special investigation division was investigating. I bet you not very hard. I bet you they're like doing a really minimal effort there. It's like, yeah, whatever. A little bit of vandalism, whatever. Not hard to track down who did this, right? I mean, everybody kind of knows who those players are within every market. San Francisco, that's a big one. Portland, big one. Seattle, decent size. But if you wanted to figure out who did this, you could figure it out. And then what are you going to do? Are you really going to put them through the ringer on graffiti charges? I don't think so. You need to catch them with something else, right? Here's what could happen next. Congress wound down without $2,000 stimulus checks. The vandalism comes after McConnell put the kibosh on a standalone proposal for $2,000 direct cash payments to American households that qualify, an idea supported by President Donald Trump and 44 House Republicans and several Senate Republicans. The Senate is not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrats' rich friends who don't need the help, said McConnell in a Senate floor speech Wednesday. That's his stance. Last week, Congress passed a near roughly $900 billion coronavirus relief package, including $600 checks for most Americans following a prolonged stalemate between Democrats and Republicans. The House on Monday approved giving Americans $2,000 stimulus checks, but the measure never came to a vote in the Senate. A day later, McConnell introduced his own version of the $2,000 legislation that would link the payments to two issues opposed by Democrats: the creation of an advisory committee that would study the integrity and administration of the November general election, and repeal of Section 230, that is a hot one, the Communications Decency Act. A lot of people are looking for that. So we got some politicking going on here is bottom line, right? I mean, that's what this is all over. $2,000 versus $600. What are we going to get? Well, what kind of deal are you going to cut me? I can do this for you. All right, but we need that. That's what's been going on. The Senate adjourned Friday evening without passing the $2,000 stimulus checks, meaning the fate of the proposal is in the hands of the next Congress, which convenes on Sunday. In response to the vandalism, McConnell said in a statement Saturday morning, "I've spent my entire career fighting for the First Amendment and defending peaceful protest. I appreciate every Kentuckian who is engaged in the democratic process, whether they agree with me or not. This is different," he continued. "Vandalism and the politics of fear have no place in our society." And yet we are watching that unfold before us all the time. I mean, my favorite one this summer here is our mayor, who is a former federal prosecutor. She's living in a house where people aren't really supposed to know where it is, but you can always figure out where somebody lives, right? It's not that hard. And one of our city council members takes a mob of protesters, does a march to her home. They do a bunch of graffiti and stuff similar to this, and then they take off. I mean, a council member did this march and graffiti to her own mayor. That's what's going on. This stuff these are not isolated incidences. And Mayor Ted down in Portland, he had the angry mob come to his condo and basically try and wake everybody up. But hey, Ted, are you in there? Come on out. Let's talk. You going to come on out in the middle of the night to an angry mob? Probably not. So Mayor Ted moved out and he was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I got to go." Except for all those businesses and homeowners who can't necessarily just move out and make accommodations because their lifestyles don't really afford that. Businesses are tough to move. So Mitch McConnell, he concluded, "My wife and I have never been intimidated by this toxic playbook. We just hope our neighbors in Louisville aren't too inconvenienced by this radical tantrum." I thought that was a great way to describe it. A radical tantrum. It's a tantrum. That is something that babies do. They have a little tantrum. They have a meltdown. Well, that's what's going on here. And I don't even really think it was a tantrum. It's more just a message. Hey, we know where you live. We're going to leave you this little love treat here, and we're going to send you a special message. That's what they're doing. It was unclear if McConnell was home during the incident. McConnell spokesperson did not immediately reply to USA Today Network request for comment. Spokesperson for Pelosi did not immediately respond to a request for comment. All right. So that's what we've got going on. You've literally got protesters going to these people's homes and graffitiing up the front. On the Pelosi thing, there was the back garage door because I believe that is an attached unit. And so basically getting to her unit, very difficult. I don't know what the front of it looked like, but they tagged a nice big white 2-car garage door, aluminum frame. That's what they did. So that'll get covered up. And then after that happened to Pelosi, I saw I think they were taping up plastic, and maybe it was like plastic yard bags is kind of what I saw with black tape. They're just trying to cover it up so that couldn't take any more photos of the original nonsense that these protesters are coming to people's homes and doing this. So this is a lot of what I think a lot of other people are talking about, is that this is getting out of control. You've got the agitated protesters taking it directly to actual politicians. And that's why, I mean, you haven't heard this story much because it's not a great story to have out there. This isn't something that we want to see happen. This is something that is going on and will continue to go on until people start taking care of it. And that's kind of why I report on it here in the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. Will it happen throughout suburbia? No, I don't think so. This just happens in isolated neighborhoods and isolated places where you've got this going on. That's the message. This stuff has been going on for years and years and years in isolated incidences, but now it's kind of becoming mainstream and the news is picking up on it mainstream. And then we're kind of looking at it going, oh, this isn't getting better. This is getting worse before it gets better. But it's like that train wreck. You know it's happening, but you can't look away. It's like, Let's just see how this ends up. This isn't going to be good. This is going to be a train wreck. And that's the way I think a lot of this will go. I think politically right now, it is not in favor to be part of the groups that are out doing this. Whereas earlier in the year, earlier in summer, it was in favor. It was the summer of love. It was, we're just having a block party and people just need to get together and really support the cause. And now the cause has gotten a little bit hazy, a little bit fuzzy. We're not really sure what the cause is anymore, but we're going to be out there protesting and doing our thing peacefully, of course, unless you are a politician and we don't like you, and then we're going to write whatever we want on your front door, on your front window, on your garage door, and we're just going to call that good. That's our message. So that's all I've got on this one. As this story develops, I don't think it will. I don't think you're going to see, the perpetrators were caught that did the graffiti, that did the blasphemous graffiti on both Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. I don't think that's going to be a storyline. So this is unfortunately probably a one and done podcast. A lot of my podcasts, I like to follow up and just tell you guys, hey, here's what's going on. Here's a little follow up to that last one. Remember that last weird story I read that had just this weird narrative? Here's something a little more. This one, I think this is one and done. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the notification bell. That way you get notified each time one of our videos comes out. If you're listening on the podcast platform, thank you so much for downloading. And that's it for me. I will catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.